played almost the best table tennis I've seen in many years, actually. As you said, a journeyman, doesn't make it too much noise, but is a capable player, strong backhand game. Made a few interesting moves with his planning, went over to the USA and played a few tournaments, won against some reasonably good players on, I wouldn't say underground tournaments because there are normal tournaments too, but went over there and won a few tournaments, maybe built his confidence from that. So you can make so many things out of it if you sort of maybe change your planning a bit, and Pistej done that and just been flying here.
So here he is, all eyes, without being disrespect to the other players here inside the mess arena, will be on Harimoto. 14 in the end of June, the youngest world junior champion he was at 13, and he got very close to getting himself a gold medal, the winner at the India Open this year. Unfortunately, he had to make do with a wooden spoon where he was the runner-up. Be interesting to see how he develops in his game when he develops physically, Michael. Now, he'll probably go for harder rubbers on the racket when he does become stronger with age. Do you agree with that?
I think what's always when a player comes out like this, they have something new, and especially his backhand game we can look at with big interest, because it's a unique sort of style, grip, attacking over the table. Although he's still small in stature, he gets his racket up and is very, very active with his backhand.
Well, he does have those highly impressive backhand receives of the Japanese. Good enough to hurt the Slovakian if he's on the money, if he's locked in with that backhand today.
And you have to love it. He's so dialed in, you know, with this emotional outbursts and always being extremely active. So, but look at the other side. You have a guy who knows that, you know, he is the seasoned veteran here. He knows he won't get a better chance than this to go to a quarterfinal or even better in the World Championship. So no doubt he's going to feel that I'm in this, I do have a chance, absolutely.
Well, you just touched upon it there. He has so much passion and confidence, does Harimoto. It's frightening almost. Hates to lose, and that is such a big, big trait to have for anybody who wants to climb into the lottery ticket, earn good money, get those gold medals, and win at this level. All of that could really play into the hands of Pistej here this afternoon. Nothing to lose, he can free himself up. And again, maybe call on the greater experience that he has at the table.
Well, I had an answer to that serve, that's for sure. Finding the angles too, that's just amazing quality. He plays so wide on the table at times.
Solid start here by the Slovak. Oh, what a rally, what a rally.
You know, his ability to pick up those when he plays, as we call in block or defense, is just amazing. He's just seeing everything coming, the hand-eye coordination, the reactions. It's just like a wall on the other side.
Leaned in, opened up on the forehand to the point of no return. Just beginning to move Pistej around the table now a lot better. They settled down. See all the cluster of photographers and cameramen around table number one here. Interesting to see how he handles the extra media scrutiny here, Harimoto. Everybody wants to get a slice of the action with regards to him now. He just seems to be able to roll with it at the moment, but the better he gets, the higher of the level of interest will become.
Of course, and he has his father here as his personal coach, and I've seen their working relations, so to say, in a couple of tournaments, and it seems to be working fine. And now you see the Japanese national coach on the bench and so on, so they made an agreement with that, and it's so far it's been managed very well by the Japanese association, and of course they are experienced in managing young players. You look at the Fukuhara, Ishikawa, Ito, many of the female players come out very early and get that sort of media attention, but this is the first young player in a long time on the men's side getting the same or even more media attention.
Well, if it's intense now, imagine what it's going to be like in the Olympics in 2020 on home soil in Tokyo. There, it's just going to go through the roof. He'll be a lot older by then. It'll be slightly more experienced, but it'll be absolutely incredible to witness that.
Yeah, but I would call this a stern test, though. I mean, because the game is a little different. It's not going to be an open game. I'm sure Pistej is going to do his job with both attacking skills back and forehand. And his attacks are heavy, you know. He's not a strong tempo guy, but I expect him to be very solid in placement and just take his chances whenever it comes.
Staying touch tight here to the Slovak. Just a solitary point of difference, but still got that crucial service point to go.
You can see what he's trying to do also. Of course, he's trying to challenge Harimoto's deep forehand, and made a mistake with his flick there, but it was nicely disguised. You know, opening his racket and then going down the line, just missed by a few millimeters.
Gets there in the end. Fantastic application there from Harimoto. 4 or 5 attempts to put that point to bed, and in the end, it was his trusty whole forehand that did the job well.
Some sort of axe shot. I don't know how to describe that one, but what a nice, excellent, innovative shot.
Oh, exactly. Lift off. Well played. Oh, that was cool, that was calm, and it was clinical as well.
Get that one down the line is really well done by Pistej. A couple of costly mistakes now on Harimoto's serve, and just, of course, realizing that he wants this first game to put even more pressure on him.
Well, that sails a good distance out there from the Slovakian's racket. And with it after being behind for pretty much most of the opening game, Harimoto it is.
Of course, as they physically mature and growing for a young player can also be an issue sometimes in table tennis. You lose some of your coordination, just very natural. You have to be constantly working on coordination, agility. And they do such a good job in the Japanese National Training Center, also with physical conditioning coaches available all the time.
Well, not much to choose between the pairs. We can see there in that opening game summary. 8 points to 7-1 on the serve there. Again, winners and unforced errors relatively the same. Interesting forehand that he has, Harimoto. It seems to work well when he gets a good rotation on the ball in order to be successful in the topspin duels. With that in mind, does he need to change anything about how he goes in this second game here, Pistej?
I think for Pistej it's all about keep doing what he's been doing. He has a game plan. He wants to play deep forehand on Harimoto. He needs to challenge him there. I don't think in the long run that he's able to keep up in the tempo of backhand. He can make some adjustments maybe in his own service. And I remember he did a few mistakes where he almost had his serve under control, but then forced it a little bit. So I think the coach for sure, Jaromir Truksa on the Slovak bench, is trying to reinforce. Just keep going. Where he was struggling always throughout his career, and this is it for some players. The pocket area for Pistej is a problem. He's a swinging table tennis player, good at power in the first shots, but overall, tempo-wise, and if Harimoto can find the middle, he's going to score points. Same for Pistej, been challenging Harimoto more now with loose flicks and changing up the spin and challenging Harimoto's backhand with a little bit of variation. And actually been scoring a few points.
Keep using his legs here today. Pistej got kineso tape now on both knees coming into this match. No surprises there. Normally this stage of the season, many of the players are carrying some bumps and bruises.
Well, a small steps exercise going again, and Pistej actually got called for a service error, so which he wasn't too happy with. It's sometimes the case that also the level of umpiring goes up a bit when you come to the close ends of these tournaments.
What I love about Harimoto, he's never afraid to innovate and be creative in a point.
As long as you're active with Harimoto's service, and I'm sure that Pistej is exactly understanding that and got the coaching from his coach to keep going, keep being active with your returning and all the time put pressure on.
That is brilliant, absolutely brilliant, that rally. Well, that had class stamped all over it. The X Factor well and truly brought to table number one in that rally.
Yes, to reach that one, getting down the line, it's a shot of the day. They're running with ITTF, you might as well stop for the day.
Well, that was just incredible. Pays so much attention to good speed and spin development as Harimoto. has that ability to play a high-paced, counter-attacking game. We saw that there in that incredible point. Oh, boy, is he pumped up here for the task.
He's got him now in this backhand game, you know, and it's fascinating how many times he's going to get in with that backhand. It's almost like a magnet. All balls come to his backhand side, and it's a pretty unique thing in playing style. I mean, it's perfectly correct to challenge him deep forehand, and you have to do that all the time, but a lot of balls end up in the wheelhouse of Harimoto on the backhand side. So interesting.
Just gave him the eyes there, Pistej. Bit of eye contact and celebrated and made sure that the Japanese saw it as well. And there it is again, look.
Yeah, it's a game, a mental game for sure. So he's been around. Yeah. Doesn't like necessarily that, you know, all this chewing or emotional outburst if he makes a mistake, because that's sort of the gentleman's agreement in table tennis. A couple of responses on the other side. He's certainly not shy.
Absolutely not, is he? It's incredible to witness. Well, he's got a wry smile on his face. He certainly won't want to be put in his place by a 13-year-old here at Pistej, but regardless of that, it is Harimoto here who's worked hard to just engineer this situation. 2 game points taken at the first attempt, and Harimoto here of Japan takes those very, very quick steps back here to see his coach, and he's looking good here. 2 games to the good in the opening exchanges here. Round 4, men's singles from table number 1. But it just seems to get better and better as we get closer to the end of the game, doesn't it? Now, it's going to be a real battle of wills, this game 3. I think this is going to heat up here. I really believe that.
I'm pretty lucky we didn't have a translation Slovak to English on the screen there with the Pistej talking to himself, because yeah, I kind of feel that he knows that, you know, he's relatively close, but he's sort of intimidated by this guy on the other side, and you can't blame him really.
Well, his passion, his ability here to dig himself out of a difficult situation, Harimoto, will stand him in good stead throughout his career, no doubt about it. Big pressure on his shoulders. Someone so young, but again, I have to reiterate how well he's dealing with it. Just needs to up the ante on his service points there, Pistej. 25%. He needs to be hitting double that, I think, if he is going to take this next game.
And it's a question of Harimoto also very strong in returning service. People forget that, but he's innovative in his returning. He goes in, he's touching the ball very well, and just building up for that backhand game all the time with his returning of service. Pistej tried a bit with long, fast serves, and I think that's something that he needs to continue with, because in the short game, Harimoto is dominant. I got called again. I think I think this is he doesn't know what kind of mistake he's making in his service. There's no doubt about that, and he's getting called all the time, and they're calling now for the referee. Actually, I think they
but
call
what's
him.
the issue here,
Well,
Michael?
I think they call because he's throwing and serving behind his body, and of course, if you look at like that, I think it's maybe a video evidence or something, and he's throwing it backwards, he's throwing behind his body.
Okay, the next question is, how do they sort this out now? Because there's a big discussion going on about this.
They call the referee, that's what they do, and she has to explain to him. Normally, she can, of course, overrule or instruct the umpire accordingly or stay at the table, and here she's calling him you know, to stay calm. She's doing a good job, but saying that the umpire saw that and the service was if you look at the video replay, though, correctly called, because you cannot throw it behind your body. And
all of this just adds to the tension of the situation here for Pistej. As he said, twice now he's been pulled up for this.
But you don't want it in a match like this, though. So it's such a borderline call in the first place. And you go through a tournament, and some players are not. The players are not going to serve differently because it's a big match like this. You're not going to serve. You just have your service technique, and that's the tricky thing.
Well, let's see who starts off better here after that delay. Not easy for both players here. Concentration levels just dip slightly because of that.
He's losing his composure now, but still up 3-2. So he needs to refocus. There's no doubt. He has to be able to handle that. But of course, he's utterly disappointed. Stay in it, you know. The tempo has been going down a bit with this controversy, and in a way, Pistej have to make that a favorable situation for him. You know, take the tempo down and change a bit in the game, and do not open up too much. Be focused.
Well, this is a critical game here for Pistej of Slovakia. If he is to prove to be the winner, I think he has to take it. Love 3 down. I think he's out.
I couldn't agree more, because it's, you know, you don't want this guy in the momentum all the time, because it just keeps going.
Well, you can see he's clearly still put off. He hasn't recovered, has he, after being penalised there by the referee? Just lost his timing, his concentration has gone. Going to find a way to get that back. He is an experienced campaigner as well. There's a lot of noise inside the arena. We have a German plying his trade over on table number 2.
He's trying to tell him, you know, to shut up a bit. I don't know exactly the rule for that. I don't think there is a rule, actually. He's telling him, yeah, this is kind of interesting. He's going after him a little bit mentally.
And it's all going on here on table number 1, isn't it? Battle of wheels. It's a mental battle. It's a verbal battle now. Now, I'm presuming that Harimoto doesn't understand English. Certainly doesn't understand Slovakian, does he?
He was looking at his coach and... to get him off balance, that's it. You know, you use all the tricks in the bags to try to win a match, but it's kind of unusual that you even talk to your opponent.
Well, just that sudden injection of pace in that forehand. It's a big, big weapon that he has.
Going on here. You know, he went back there just lobbing the ball, so he's trying to get him derailed in any way he can.
Well, it worked, didn't it? Threw it up nice and high.
A long fast service, why not? I think that's something that he has to bring back into his tactical setup.
again, I think that's the noise as well, perhaps, inside the arena. Out to me.
It's close though, so this kind of match, if you're coaching on the other side, I'm sure you're a little nervous because it hasn't really developed the way you like in sort of the mental makeup of this match. So, yeah, another mistake. So you see he's successful in a way with his antics here on court, Pistej.
Well, he's trying every trick in the book here just to derail Harimoto at the moment, and I think he knows it as well. Two mistakes there, 9 points each, when he was looking just to run away with this game. Back in business, back on track. And another game point here for Harimoto. Coach looks pleased, that's half the battle. Please your coach first and you know that you've done a job very well. Oh, how aggressive was that? Controlled aggression at its best there from Harimoto. And it's the perfect start here by the 13-year-old from time he serves. There must be a seed of doubt in his head.
Yeah, he went to 4 on there to try something, and he's just losing his game a little bit. But at the same time, it's a pressure on him too. So I don't know what he's going to do actually, because he has to force Harimoto out on the forehand side, but also be a little bit tempo strong in his technique. You see there where he gets more time than he can execute the shots, but Harimoto standing so close to the table, putting so much speed and power in that backhand, taking it so early, then it's such a hard thing to deal with.
And if it is to be the final game here in this match, it should be very interesting to see the hand check at the end of it, if there is one. Good serve, set that point up brilliantly there. Needs to strike more of those kind of winners. Pulled the Japanese out wide, opened up the table.
That was a well-executed serve, as you mentioned, and it's so deep. Something surprising, and I think more half-long services like that is good. Then he just slid the ball down the line with a sort of a stop lock, and he needs to keep going with those kind of shot making to get him off track, so to say, and that's his key to the victory. But victory is a long way now. You're down 0-3, so just relax and try to play, and I'm sure he recognizes also the skill set on the other side.
So a timeout has been called here, and it is a critical timeout, really, isn't it, for the Slovakian now? Put yourself in his coach's position here. Is it just calming him down again? Look, there's another conversation going on here with the referee.
He's very upset, obviously, but this is borderline too. I mean, he has still to sort of deal with this, and I'm surprised that if you go after a guy like Harimoto, you know what you're up against, and just prepare mentally. You're not going to change the way he is reacting, or because it's a Japanese culture too to have these sounds or of encouragement and all the time when you're playing. So,
well, it's fair to say, and it's clear to see that Lubomir Pistej just hasn't regained his composure since being pulled up for the first time by the referee with regard to his serve. That's what he has to do. He just has to be aggressive. He has to be more robust out there. Nothing to lose, but scoreboard pressure, opponent pressure playing a part here for the Slovak. But what I love about Harimoto, he knows his opponent is upset on the other side of the table, but he doesn't care. I'm going to do what I want to do. This is how I play. Deal with it.
Exactly, he's a unique young player, that's no doubt whatsoever. I was surprised there, and he put actually the serve on the table when he was not ready. So this is now it is a situation actually not very, I don't like it too much because it's just challenging the whole thing. Pistej now.
Well, you're quite right. He just needs to forget about that and get on with the matter in hand. And the matter at hand is he's 0-3 down, 2 points down here in game 4.
What a mature decision, though, to take a time out there, to take a break, because he's just trying everything. And I'm not sure that this falls under good sportsmanship, what he's doing for the moment, because at one point he just put the ball on the table and he was not ready. So it's very hard for the umpires too to call a match like this, because it's a very unusual situation.
Well, you have to wonder, do you, if there'll be some words in the locker room after here from...
I'm also surprised he's not yellow carded or something, or given a warning at this point, because some of his behavior should be penalized.
Getting closer and closer now to reaching the next stage. Coming into the World Championships here, he would have had bundles of confidence behind him, Harimoto, that he would go deep into the tournament. Well, I think that's a very, very frustrated Slovakian there on the other side of the table with that forehand.
And 1 out of 100 shot. And a strong winner, of course, 74 kilometers an hour.
They're still searching to derail Harimoto here. Down to a point that he still has serve here, so needs to play this right here, Pistej. He was under big pressure and he came through it.
He's quite successful with what he's trying to do. I think it's, no shame or something like that, but then just putting slow backhand service on table. Good tactics, obviously, changing it all up, making it very simple.
Well, he's missed the table by some distance there, Harimoto. Well, he's called and he's tried to utilise his vast experience here, Pistej, to get some purchase here in this game. Perhaps that hard work is about to pay out. It's game point for him for the very first time. Oh, he's done it. Well, he had to work so hard there, Lubomir Pistej. Well, credit where credit is due.
Because they followed the conversation close range. But it's an interesting match, and as we said, not very easy to to umpire or control at the moment, but maybe it calms down. And also Pistej can play better, in my opinion. He lost many points where he was unfocused, making a lot of unforced errors. Came back a little bit, played stronger. So let's see now.
That seems to be Harimoto who comes out on top in these long exchanges at the moment.
Because he finds the middle. You see there, right, the block to the middle. So he knows perfectly well what he needs to do and where he needs to put his blocks, and that's pretty impressive, actually. So patient also when he gets that position when the other player is backing off the table. Okay, he missed some of those high balls, but overall he has good control. It takes the perfect speed. Risk management is perfect.
Tells us the story, doesn't it? Took that nice and early.
Young players watching this, I mean, should look at the way he's working on his return. He's so quick picking them up, and he's moving so well into the ball, touching it very well with backhand side. That shot there is actually a signature shot. On half-long return, he is able to put it short back with underspin, and that's just a quality shot that nobody else has. And this is what you see when your young talents come out and you have a serve that is sort of innovative, or you have a returning skills that are better than the others, and you set that up and you become... Harimoto is hard to play against, so that's what a young player has to look for. Make yourself hard to play against.
Well, when you think of it, a racket was put in his hand at just 2 years of age. He has table tennis in his family, in the background, so it's in his blood, it's in his DNA. It's joy to watch. His backhand receives. Getting very, very clever in that point.
Normally most players would attack that ball. He has cut it back with his underspin, sort of stop, chop, if you call it, and then he's pulling. But it's not going to quiet down because you have a Slovak veteran on the other side. That's for sure. He's going to do his stuff, which tells you that there's a mental strength there as well. Pistej is just looking to pick up a few quick points, make not any long rallies, just take a few serves and take a few risk shots, and then be strong on the ball. But he was penalized there by a very strong backhand. He didn't even get his racket up.
Well, how many times over the years are we going to see that kind of situation? Harimoto celebrating a point. Enjoying watching him now, and we'll continue to enjoy watching him for many, many years to come. He's a young man in a hurry. He's a young man with a first four success already at such a young age. Just needs to stay calm here though, Harimoto. He's not quite out the woods just yet. 3 points for victory, but also it's a 3-point deficit, and that's enough to keep him honest.
Well, yeah, first time forcing him off the table a little bit, so losing some of his footwork, and it's right there, he's bouncing a bit, and I'm sure he's sort of realizing now, looking at the scoreboard, which is always dangerous to do, then realizing you only need a few more points. So just keep play 1 point at a time, focus on what you have to do to score points, not if you're scoring or not.
That's a huge point, because Pistej was just beginning to build some momentum. Under pressure again now is the Slovakian, with a 3-point deficit to deal with again. Oh, well played. Normal service has resumed with the Harimoto forehand getting to work. And what a moment it is now for Tomokazu Harimoto of Japan. 4 match points.
Oops. That was you're trying to get him to calm down, because I was looking for a nice finish. I think it's a little bit of a youthful mistake.
Oh, he's looking for the big finish there, wasn't he? In a blaze of glory. Oh, time for a calm head. This is where perhaps the inexperience here for Harimoto can have an effect. Doing the right thing here, just taking a break, using the towel. And just a quick look to his coach as well, just giving him the nod of approval. Getting those feet moving again as well. 2 service points dropped, so he's still in this, Pistej.
Yeah, take a walk and gather your thoughts, young man, because he's sort of having you a bit in difficult situation now. Pistej serving simple, no spin.
Oh, what a rally to end proceedings here. Harimoto runs very quickly to have a warm embrace of his coach, arms aloft. And what a match we've witnessed here on table number 1. Tomokazu Harimoto, at 13 years of age, is displayed to us today. What a talented table tennis player he is. Touch of turbulence at the end, but in the end, he just about got over the line, didn't he?
He did, and he did it. I'm impressed. Not perhaps the greatest match in his career so far, in a very young career, but he managed to deal with a mental conversation here that was something else, I believe. I haven't seen that in a long time, and Pistej, almost the best table tennis I've seen in many years, actually. As you said, a journeyman, doesn't make it too much noise, but is a capable player, strong backhand game. Made a few interesting moves with his planning, went over to the USA and played a few tournaments, won against some reasonably good players on, I wouldn't say underground tournaments, because there are normal tournaments too, but went over there and won a few tournaments, maybe built his confidence from that. So you can make so many things out of it if you sort of maybe change your planning a bit, and Pistej done that, and just been flying here.
So here he is, all eyes, without being disrespect to the other players here inside the mess arena, will be on Harimoto. 14 in the end of June, the youngest world junior champion he was at 13, and he got very close to getting himself a gold medal, the winner at the India Open this year. Unfortunately, he had to make do with a wooden spoon where he was the runner-up. Be interesting to see how he develops in his game, when he develops physically, Michael. Now, he'll probably go for harder rubbers on the racket when he does become stronger with age. Do you agree with that?
I think always when a player comes out like this, they have something new, and especially his backhand game we can look at with big interest, because it's a unique sort of style, grip, attacking over the table. Although he's still small in stature, he gets his racket up, and he's very, very active with his backhand.
Well, he does have those highly impressive backhand receives of the Japanese. good enough to hurt the Slovakian if he's on the money, if he's locked in with that backhand today.
And you have to love it. He's so dialed in, you know, with this emotional outbursts and always being extremely active. So, but look at the other side. You have a guy who knows that, you know, he is the seasoned veteran here. He knows he won't get a better chance than this to go to a quarterfinal or even better in the World Championship. So no doubt he's going to feel that I'm in this, I do have a chance, absolutely.
Well, you just touched upon it there. He has so much passion and confidence, does Harimoto. It's frightening almost. Hates to lose, and that is such a big, big trait to have for anybody who wants to climb into the lottery ticket, earn good money, get those gold medals, and win at this level. All of that could really play into the hands of Pistej here this afternoon. Nothing to lose, he can free himself up. And again, maybe call on the greater experience that he has at the table.
Well, I had an answer to that serve, that's for sure. Finding the angles too, that's just amazing quality. He plays so wide on the table at times.
Solid start here by the Slovak. Oh, what a rally, what a rally.
You know, his ability to pick up those when he plays, as we call in block or defense, is just amazing. He's just seeing everything coming, the hand-eye coordination, the reactions. It's just like a wall on the other side.